All right, welcome back to another video. This is going to be a breakdown of 3 trades I took today. I did absolutely freaking terrible today. I won't even lie. Um, did I follow the plan? Yes. Were my trades somewhat valid? Yes. Did I get a tad bit emotional? Yes. But not like crazy out of line. So that's what we're going to break down today. 3 trades I took, all on what was it? 1 on SQQQ and then 2 on TQQQ. So first one was SQQQ. Obviously, as you can see, as soon as market opened, I marked out, well, obviously 15-minute high, 15-minute low. Now I missed my entry, the entry that I should have taken, which should have been this candle right here, this 2-minute candle close, to be able to take this to the downside because we had liquidity down here. If you look at the 15-minute time frame, we had this low down here, right? And then we had this low over here, which we took both of them. But I didn't take that, unfortunately. So what do? I'm sitting, I'm waiting for another setup. And what I'm looking for is price to come back to this 557.94 level. This was a main area here of support that I wanted price to come down to before bouncing. That's what I was looking for. So once we got this relief bounce right here, I'm thinking to myself, all right, maybe this is a relief bounce. If we get a sell off through this, we should be able to go down to that 557.94 or 558, whatever. That's what I'm expecting on this. So we get that rejection right here. Flip over to SQQQ. I enter here. Worst possible entry. But in hindsight, it's the worst possible entry. But like here, like as I'm watching it, like real time, if you're looking at it like this, I'm thinking it's going to go past this and go down to about 1907 or go up to about 1907, which is my target on QQQ. So unfortunately, we didn't do that. What we did end up doing, rejecting that. Now I kept the stop like super tight on that because I knew it wasn't very high probability, but it did follow just the trend in general. And then on top of that, what was my other confirmation on this? Other confirmation was this 5-minute candle close right here. It was pretty bearish, obviously. Buyers try to push us up, and then they just sellers push us all the way back down. So I'm thinking based off of that, let's take this to the downside. Did not end up playing out, unfortunately. So that was a quick little loss right there. But I used lighter size just because I knew that with price being that far extended, it wasn't super high probability. But with that being said, that was the first trade. So now I'm already down on the day. I was down on the day. I'm still down on the day overall, but I'm not down as much as I was. So I was down on the day there, right? I tried to not let that influence my second trade. Did it partially influence my second trade? Yes. And then it also influenced my mindset with my second trade. So here's something not to do. And I already did it, so boo-hoo. But basically what happened was after I saw us fail to break the low, get this bullish candle here. Okay, we got this bullish candle. We had the bearish candle. Now we have a bullish candle, and we're not breaking the low. Then we get this candle, which is a bullish engulfing after this one, right? So now I'm looking for a trade. We continue to push up, and on the 2-minute time frame, I end up entering this position right here, and I set my stop. Right? I'm risking 50 cents to make 50 cents. What am I targeting? I'm targeting 50% retracement of this high to this low, which 50% retracement is like right around this area, right where my TP was basically. And we ended up pulling back, ended up hitting that later on, as you can see in a second trade. But once price started pulling back here, I'm sitting here, I'm already down on the day. I don't want price to hit my full TP or my full stop loss. So I'm thinking to myself, how can I not hit my full stop loss? And like, how can I, basically my mind goes into like fight or flight. So I'm just trying to protect my capital at this point. I already took a loss on the day on a trade that didn't necessarily follow my plan. This does follow my plan for break of structure and bouncing off of a key level with a 5-minute bullish engulfing. But I don't want to lose this trade because I already lost the previous trade is basically what I'm thinking in my mind. I'm not directly thinking this, but I'm thinking it indirectly, obviously. I'm thinking it indirectly while I'm in this trade. So what do we end up doing? We end up trying to push up, failing, pushing down. I exit the trade literally right here. My exit price was $86.03. Entry price was $86.34. So I entered right here, and then I exited literally right there, 86.03 right there. That's where I exited on this. And right after I exited, we start to get that rally back up. And then I had a lot of chop to sit through, but we ended up hitting the TP. Now, these are two separate trades right here. This is the first trade. I exited here. I should have never exited. Should have followed the plan, risked what I wanted to risk, and then I would be green on the day. But instead, I decided to not do that. And I actually decided to stop myself out early because for some reason my intuition was telling me that this was going to be a lower high and that we were going to continue on down after that to finally hit the target down below of 557.94. What did we end up doing? Not that at all. I stopped myself out early. At this point, I'm down $171 on the day between the first trade and the second trade. And then, once we get that immediate rally back up, as soon as I exit, I know I did something wrong because we start to get an immediate push right back up. I re-entered the trade at pretty much the same entry price. So now at this point, the reasoning for me entering this trade again is one reason. Because I stopped myself out early on this trade, I now can risk similar, or honestly, I wasn't going to risk this entire bit right here. I was pretty much just risking the bottom of this candle. But basically, I can have two trades where I risk smaller amounts that if I lose both, then I'm only losing 1R. So basically, on both of these trades, this trade I took basically a loss of 0.5R. And if I lost this trade, then I would have taken a loss of 0.5R, which would have equaled out to 1R loss overall, which technically still follows the plan. And I'm technically in the same market structure, but I failed to stay in. So that's why I re-entered this trade, because logically it made sense. If that makes any sense at all. If it doesn't, rewind it and see if it makes more sense. But basically what I did was re-enter virtually the same entry, 3 cents higher, right? My entry on this one was $86.36. And we immediately start pushing. I'm like, all right, bet. And then we chop all day. We literally chopped from 10:30 to 12. I sat in this trade for an hour and a half before it finally hit my TP right here. So I sat in this trade literally all freaking day. But it was worth it. I went from being down $171 on the day to being down $51 on the day after making a $120 comeback on this trade right here. So that just goes to show if you actually follow your plan, like pretend I didn't get out the first time. If I would have actually followed my plan, first of all, I'd be positive on the day, right? But irregardless of me selling out early or not, I sold out early, right? And I got back in, but I got in the same trade with the same idea. The price action's still valid. It never hit my stop loss in the first place. It's not like I took my loss and then re-entered because now I think it's gonna work. I took my loss early and then re-entered because price is still valid. So for me, that's still a reason to get in the trade or to get back in and re-risk what I was risking. But overall, those were the 3 trades that I took. Still negative on the day, which is fine, but positive on the week. But I gotta take today pretty much as a lesson. And if you guys can, take today as a lesson from me as well. And just don't do exactly what I did. First of all, trust your plan. Trust your plan, because I could have easily just held this, not taken the loss. Held it. If it hit my stop loss, boo-hoo. And if it doesn't, then boom, I'm winning, right? It would have been a way better outcome than me taking the loss and then coming back. And then, I'd be positive instead of negative on the day. And then second off, with this trade, price is way overextended. Did we have the possibility to be able to go down and touch the level that I was aiming for? Yes, 100%. But we didn't do that. So for me, this was not a good entry. This was not a good look, especially after price had this insane push down on QQQ. So that's one thing I won't be doing again. And even if it does, let's say, even if price continued to push down and I didn't enter, I can't be mad about it, because I learned from today that trying to chase after that big move, even though I'm doing it tastefully per se, aiming for a key level, waiting for the pullback, doesn't mean that it's going to hit basically all the time. So it's a much lower probability trade. But that's pretty much it for today. That's some mental warfare in here. I'm telling you, like, this was like back and forth, like my headspace the whole time this thing's chopping sideways is all over the place, because we're so close to my TP and then we're back down to break even. Because if this didn't hit TP, I would have stopped that at break even. And you can see it just hit TP and then smacked my break even. Which, if I would have walked out of here with this break even and then down 170 on the day, I would have been so mad at myself. But, it is what it is, regardless. Regardless, though, hopefully you guys learned something from this video. Hopefully you guys can take it to apply it to your own trading and just take what I did. Don't do what I did today. Stay away from that. Continue just taking one good trade. And if you stuck this long in the video, remember this quote, and I heard it from a movie. I don't remember the name of the movie, but if you look in, let's say a guy is a fisherman, right? And he's really good at fishing. What does he have? He has a picture on his wall of him with the biggest fish he's ever caught. He doesn't have a picture on the wall of him with 1,000 fish, 1,000 smaller fish, right? He has a picture of him on the wall with the biggest fish that he's ever caught. So take that and apply it to trading. You're not trying to catch every little move, right? I'm over here trying to catch this little move up. Oh, and then I lose, so I sell out, right? I'm shooting for one big fish per day. It doesn't have to be a big fish, you know what I mean? It's like a medium-sized fish, whatever. If you shoot for one decent-sized fish per day, you can eat forever. You'll be fine. But if you go aiming for 100 fish a day, you may not catch any at all. I don't know if that made any sense. Then apply it to your trading. But with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video.